As we rewind back to 1994, then Alberta Premier Ralph Klein was in Lloydminster for a $100 a plate fundraising dinner.
Indeed, my critics get tired of hearing me say it, but we believe, and I'll say it again, that we have a spending problem in this province and not a revenue problem.
Federal voters may have turned their back on the Progressive Conservative Party, but PC support in northeastern Alberta is still strong. Almost 400 people paid $100 a plate to attend the first ever Premier's dinner in the border city last night. Even though the event was a Tory fundraiser, some difficult questions were posed to the Premier.
If you keep on the restriction, which I approve, you're cutting the fat out the government, I approve 100%. But you cannot put the construction in a standstill. And that's my big concern.
Klein also took time out to criticize his competition.
As a matter of fact, you know, we don't need the NDs in this province anymore, because the Liberals are doing a far better job of being socialists than the NDs ever were. They really are.
Most of Klein's time, though, was spent defending his government's recent budget. The Premier says too much money is going towards administration and not to the classroom or hospital rooms where the money is really needed. He says his government's vision for a new Alberta involves more free enterprise with money going to people who will know how to use it effectively.
Moving from Alberta politics of the past to Saskatchewan, the Sask Party is the dominant political force in the province, but in 1998, the party's first leadership race made a stop in Lloydminster.
Three very different men, one common goal: to lead the party that many feel is the future of Saskatchewan. Yogi Hugabert, Rod Gantifor, and Elwin Hermanson are the men aiming to become the first leader of the Saskatchewan Party. Wednesday night, the three made a stop in Lloydminster for a public forum, speaking on their platforms and addressing concerns. Yogi Hugabert was the first to declare his candidacy. The retired fighter pilot turned rancher knows that when it comes to political experience, his opponents have the edge.
The leader, if he or she has excellent people surrounding them, it makes it much easier to be a leader, and then you don't have to be as knowledgeable on each and every affair because your good people around you advise you, and then when you get good advice, you can speak to those issues very freely and frankly.
Melfort Tisdale MLA Rod Gantifor has been the opposition critic for a wide range of capacities, including health, finance, Crown investment, and economic development. Gantifor feels the Saskatchewan Party can do for the people of Saskatchewan what the NDP has not.
We've got to start believing in ourselves. We've got to deal with the issues that people are really saying are affecting their lives. And there are things like taxation, there are things like health care, there are things like education and roads and property tax. All the kinds of things that people have been saying that are really important to them.
Elwin Hermanson is a former Midwest Reform MP. After initially choosing not to seek the leadership role, Hermanson had a change of heart.
The quality of the people, you know, the sincerity of the people who asked me to consider running, and the support that seemed to be growing across the province changed my mind or made up my mind that I would in fact seek the leadership if there was that kind of support and see if we couldn't win the leadership and make a difference for Saskatchewan.
Which one of you feel that you can lead the next provincial party on a straight and true course for the everyday average working person and business person in Saskatchewan?
Those in attendance kept the candidates busy with questions, many to do with the future of Saskatchewan. One of the hottest topics, the continuing exodus of people out of the province.
I grew up in Saskatchewan. I left school 25 years ago. And it wasn't a question of where you're going to go or what you're going to do, is when are you going to leave?
The concern was addressed by all three candidates, and all felt the Saskatchewan Party would be able to solve this.
Saskatchewan is dying and being crushed under the tax load, and we're finding increasingly our people are leaving because of it. And we simply have to address that and stop it.
If you want Saskatchewan identity now, you go to Alberta because that's where most of the people are. But no, I don't think we would ever lose Saskatchewan identity. I mean, what are we in Saskatchewan? We're a mosaic of peoples. By creating jobs and getting more people in the province, there's no way that we can change a mosaic.
I see a Saskatchewan where young people want to stay home and make a good livelihood for themselves in the province, and where others who have left would be enticed to come back because they love Saskatchewan and they'd be very happy living here if they could make a decent living.
Whether the party will be able to attract people to the land of the living skies remains to be seen. But what is clear is that the people at Wednesday's forum want change, and they want the Saskatchewan Party to bring that change.
This has been our week in retrospect.